And this is a summary of chapter 16. That Indra's mother, Aditi, who is the mother of the demigods, she was lamenting due to separation from her sons who were kicked out of the heavenly planet. Indra lost his heavenly kingdom. Mother Aditi approached her husband Kashyap, and she received from him instructions how to perform some austerity or perform a brata called the Payal Brat, by doing which she could please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and receive from him a boon of a son who had actually arranged for Indra to get his kingdom back and defeat Bali Maharaj. So this chapter 16 is called Executing the Payal Brata Process of Worship. Kashyap Muni, the husband of Indra's mother, Aditi, and also Indra's father, he was away performing austerities. And when he came back, he saw that his wife was very unhappy. He was trying to inquire about the cause. Why was Aditi so unhappy? Was it possibly because she was not, there were some discrepancies in the principles of household life, some discrepancies in their religious practices or dharma, kama. And Prabhupada says in the purport, those that are householders, they should not think that dharma or religion is meant to improve the process of a householder's sense gratification. Dharma, art, kam. Household life is actually meant for advancement in spiritual understanding, by which one can get liberation from material clutches. Then Kashyap asked another reason that could possibly be a cause for the dissatisfaction. This is the second question, second cause of dissatisfaction or unhappiness. He said, "Oh, Aditi, did you fail to properly receive an uninvited guest, Atiti?" It's actually the duty of a householder to receive guests, even if the guest is an enemy. A seat and a glass of water is a minimal reception in order to not displease a guest. So displeasing a guest is another cause of being sad or unhappy or unsuccessful. Then Kashyap asked a third question, a third possible cause for her unhappiness of Aditi. He said, perhaps you did not offer oblations of ghee into the fire while I was away. And Prabhupada discusses in purport of text 9 about fire yajna and sacrifice. It says in the Vedic system, a homa or fire yajna is held to offer ghee, grains, fruits and flowers, so the Vishnu may eat and be satisfied. And also not only feeding Vishnu, but something called Brahman Bhojan. This is also recommended after the yajna or offering to Vishnu, Yagyavai Vishnu. Then the prasad, Mahaprasad, is distributed to the brahmanas, so they eat sumptuous food after the yajna. And by this is the second way that the Lord Himself eats, through the mouth of the Brahmins. So this is the Vedic principle that whenever there is a festival or homa or yajna, one should offer oblations into the fire, then distribute sumptuous food for the pleasure of the Brahmanas. In this way, householder can be elevated to heaven to maintain his proper dharmic duties in the context of the Vedic religious system of Varnashram Dharma. Kashyap Muni describes the details of the Payavrata process to his wife. He says that this vow should be performed in Phalgun month, February and March. This is a 12-day brat. In this vow, one will only drink milk. In the purport, Prabhupada just compares this Payavrata vow or austerity to Ekadasi, where he says Ekadasi, generally we don't eat grains, but it's generally recommended that one also fast the next day on Dwadasi by not consuming anything but milk. Of course, nowadays, not too many people observe that. It's an interesting side point that this vow, Payavrata, was recommended to be performed for 12 days. This number 12 we see throughout the Vedic literature in the lives of saints, contemporary saints, and great acharyas, and even the Lord in his pastimes. 12 is a very significant number. In Jyotishis, they say that 12 years represents a yuga or millennium for a human being. And every 12 years, there's a phase change or a shift in a person's life direction or mental attitude or behavior towards someone or his relationship with a particular school or institution or business or employer, or live in some place for 12 years and move, or work in some job for 12 years and leave. When Krishna in Dwarka Lila, he was defamed by Satyajit because his brother Prasena borrowed his Shamataka necklace, rode into the forest, was killed by a lion, and then a lion killed then Jambavan came and killed the lion and took the jewel. And then Satyajit spread a rumor in Dwarka that Krishna had killed his brother in order to obtain the jewel. Krishna went with some elderly members of Dwarka to search for the actual cause of the disappearance of the jewel. He found the dead horse and the Prasena. Then he followed the blood into the cave, and he told the elders to wait outside the cave till he returned. So Krishna met Jambavan inside Riksharaj, and they fought for many days, I think 28 days and nights. But the elders from Dwarka, they remained outside the cave and they waited patiently for Krishna's return for a total of 12 days. Because, as I said, this represents a special block of time, special significant period. Not 10 days, not 9 days, not 15 days, but 12 days is considered that they waited a millennium or yuga. In other words, it was sufficient time. If they had left after 5 or 6 days, it wouldn't have looked good, or it wouldn't be convincing or conclusive. But they left after 12 without Krishna, assuming that he had perished inside the cave or met with an accident and died or whatever. Of course, God can never die. But they left after 12. So this you'll see everywhere. Yugayatam Nameshena. Lord Chaitanya was in Gambhir Leela in the last 12 years of his 24 years coming and going and living in Puri. He was totally absorbed in Nirjan Bhajan within the confines of the Gambhira. And there, during those 12 years, he recited the Shikshastakam. He said that a moment away from the Lord is like a yuga. Yugayatam Nameshena Chakshusha Pravishayadam. And his 12 years in the Gambhira was like a yuga also. So we're mentioning this. Aditi performed this Payavrata for 12 days. And we may find this when this 12 number comes up in our life, we've been initiated for 12 years, or we've been brahmacharis for 12 years, we may find some challenge to our ashram, or some challenge to our attitude or viewpoint. Then we have to re-examine our values or our viewpoints, worldview, maybe take a new course or change of course, or maybe that will happen automatically. There will be upheaval or disturbance in our otherwise peaceful life or peaceful job or peaceful relationship. So we should be aware of that fact and be prepared and not be surprised if something comes up when this number 12 appears in various combinations within our life.